what time it is?
It is really still Unwrapped time. Happy Friday. We're missing Israel. It's
Happy
starting
Friday.
at the
We are. Where's our buddy
dealership
Izzy
this
at?
morning. Anyway,
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We are already in July. Holy cow.
what's going on?
That's crazy.
Oh, it's a little bit of an unstable internet on my end, which is scary, but we'll deal with it. It's okay.
It's not too scary.
Nah. How you doing, Ed?
I'm good, Gigi. I'm good. I just want to check my mic, make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me? Good?
I hear you loud and clear. Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
So today is actually part 1 of the series. I don't know how many parts we're going to have in this. We're still working on it, on how to ramp up your business. Today we're going to discuss a couple of prospecting techniques we feel are really easier to get back into if you haven't prospected in over a year since we just got permission to prospect again, or for those who never prospected. All right? So let's get into it.
If you never prospected before, okay? It's okay. It's no big deal. All right. It's just
no, it's fine.
We're gonna go through it though, right, Gigi? We're gonna go through the different techniques. We're gonna go through the type of mindset you have to have because hey, at the end of the day, yes, we are in sales. So you kind of have to have that mindset and you just can't take everything to the heart. All right. So we're gonna jump into that.
Then, and then the moral of the story, if you just like wait for the business to come to you, you might die of starvation. So with this said, there you go. All right. So let's recap. New York State's executive order has been lifted as of last week, June 24th. Ooh. What does it mean? Yes. So up to now, we were not able to solicit.
Hold on. Before we should actually ask. We should ask the viewers, what does this mean? We should ask them and say, hey, what do you guys know about the executive order? If you've been doing real estate either right before the pandemic and made it to this point, congratulations. You guys survived. You know what I mean? But with that being said, we literally now have the opportunity to do something we could not do the entire time that COVID was affecting us. So if you guys know what that is, chime in, throw it in the chat box. But I know Gigi's gonna tell us right now.
I know it's like itching me to say it because we were able to do a few things. So we're not able to solicit any homeowners. Definitely not doing any cold calling. That's for sure. The only way we could have spoken to the consumer as far as solicitation, and it wasn't really solicitation, it was only talk to for sale by owners when you had a verifiable buyer, meaning you could put a name to that buyer, you could make sure what they were looking for, and you would have a pre-approval and luckily proof of funds for that buyer. So that's what it meant.
Yeah.
And as of now, we're able to resume our cold calling activities or different prospecting techniques and door knocking. So you can call back expired, for sale by owner. We're going to show you a whole bunch of different things you can do. And you can go back farming in your area of choice, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
So what does that mean for some of you people that are viewing? If you're someone who is not practicing real estate, that means that you're going to get a lot of phone calls from us now. You're going to get a lot of people to reach out and want to try to sell your home. So definitely get ready for that.
Harinder mentioned he believes it means we can cold call and mail marketing. So mail marketing, we were able to do it this whole time. You're able to send mail, every door direct mail, that we were able to do it, emails as well. But the actual call and in-person interaction was not possible. Thank you, Harinder, for sharing with us. All right, let's move on to the next guy. So Ed, let's discuss that. I think you wanted to ask me something the other day.
I did. I was actually having this conversation with both you and Israel. And what we were saying is what are some of the techniques that you feel like? What are some of the techniques that you feel when it comes to prospecting that you can excel in? That you're like, man, I'm killing it. If I do this all day long, my business is going to go from here to here.
To me, is what actually we're going to cover today. Okay, let's talk about what I need to improve. Definitely for sell by owner, it's could be a harder one. Number one, because I don't always have. I have some buyers, yes, from past listings and stuff. Number two, because it's not my favorite. Expired is my second least favorite. I would do it. I do it. I had some success with it, yes. And I still need to improve on it. And definitely what we're going to discuss today is just listed. Just so it's easier to actually, and even if you're not a listing agent, it's easier to actually take a listing that was sold or a listing that actually is on the market within your group, your organization, your MLS, again, with the authorization of the listing agent. And you can actually go to the neighbors in the surrounding area of that listing and ask for business, either ask for a buyer, which in turn, if you ask a little bit deeper, you may get a seller, or just ask, if you just sold that property, ask to see if sellers are interested in putting their house on the market, since you have gazillion buyers for that house. I like that. I like those because it's easier to talk. You have something to talk about. It's easier to open up. For me, your value proposition is there. I mean, you have fair trading. Hey, Mr. Seller, I have this listing that we just sold like in a week over asking and pop. Or you want to see the pictures? Here's on my phone. And you can have a conversation. Easy one. I like easy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and we had this conversation the other day, right? I mentioned when it comes to prospecting techniques, I personally like to just speak to people face to face. All right. The skill that I really had to work on back then was more in the Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's cutting off a little bit. Let's move right? on. Yeah. It's okay.
Let me just do this real quick.
Yeah, Perfect. It is choppy. It's since last night, internet was going down, but hey, we'll deal with it. So go ahead. What is your?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Perfect.
Yes.
So, all right, awesome. So what I was mentioning was that, look, when it came to meeting with people face to face, it was easier for me to connect. It was easier for me to just sit there and have a conversation with them and gauge the type of person that we were dealing with, right? We actually had a training that we put together not too far back, which was actually the disc profile. Remember the disc profile?
You're still
still choppy?
Oh, Israel is coming in and you're super choppy, but look who we have here. Yes, he's back. Did they let you go at the dealership, or it looks like you're still there?
No, I'm still stuck here. Yeah.
And we just, you know what? The internet is the worst today. We just lost.
You lost everything.
We just lost Ed, but
okay.
Yeah, we were discussing. Let's put it back. We were discussing the different type of prospecting technique, and Ed was asking me which prospecting technique I like the best. And well, let's share with you. Let's see what you like.
Well,
are you there?
Techniques. I mean, yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the prospecting techniques that I use are generally by phone. I used to do door knocking with Ed a lot, and then, but most of it has to do with phone calls. I understand that not everybody likes doing phone calls, but I always feel that you can reach out more people with phone calls than you do with door knocking.
Right. Which one do you like? Expired, flip by owner, or sell as you just sold? Which one you like? Which one you feel? You excel more, because I was telling Ed my least favorite would be for sell by owner as a preference.
That's funny. Mine is for sell by owner.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's good.
Okay. You tend to work with sellers. Tend to work with sellers that are actually they already know, they already
choppy
have
as well, but let's see.
Well, I hope I'm not too choppy.
Yeah. I know. Internet is a little bit of a challenge for everybody today. I guess with this weird weather, we have a lot of outage. So please bear with us. We hear you well. It was just copy. Yeah. So, and as for, I know you've been doing also really good with,
I was going to say that if we're having this much technical difficulties, we can always do another day and just, redo this as well.
No, let's try it. Let's see if we can get a couple of things in. Well, I know you also were pretty good at door knocking.
Yeah, so door knocking is also something that I feared when I first started, and then soon after that, I went into the point of having to actually say hello to people because, my stature was a little, I feel like I'm a big guy. I'm a big burly guy, going up to the door and they're
but you're so lovable. I mean, everybody should be welcoming you when they see you. It's like, Israel, come in.
Thank you. Yes.
Remember
that's the feeling that I feel like. And that's the feeling that I wish everybody had. But,
yeah, you know what? Ed is back. He's back.
Hey, Ed, welcome back. Welcome back.
The joy of the internet.
So
we were talking about door knocking with Israel. He was saying sometimes it could be a challenge because he's a tall guy. I guess he doesn't want to scare people and so on and so forth. But I guess it's already like 11, 12. We have a lot more going on. You guys have some pretty funny prospecting stories.
Yeah, I mean, we actually had, we were door knocking certain areas.
Actually, Israel's my bodyguard.
Oh, you choppy, but go ahead,
we lost him.
Yeah.
So we actually,
I'm choppy.
Ed and
I'm choppy,
would
guys.
actually go. You're choppy, you're good? All right. So Ed and I would normally, honestly, look, I rarely door knock on a crazy weather day, and Ed and I would do it. I think it was a time where it was like 20 degrees and went to door knock. And then we also
20 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I think that was the day that Ed lost one of his gloves, if I remember. So,
gloves.
Yeah. And we actually, the thing is that the stories that we use, the lines that we use, from either if it's an open house or if it has to do with justice is just sold, we look at what our company already has in the area.
You are choppy as well, Israel. Yeah.
I hear you guys fine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still a bit choppy. Yeah, Ed, you there? Or I don't know if you're still... No, he's moving one eye.
I'm scared that if I say something, it might be choppy also. You know what I mean? You see, there's a delay in my end too. I don't know why.
Israel,
can you guys hear me though?
Hold on. Can you put your phone louder, Israel? Like your phone could be a little bit louder.
Let's see.
Hemena says she hears us just fine.
How about now?
It's a lot.
Yes.
I'll take go right now.
Yes, on your phone is much better. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's my side peripheral, by the way.
So, really to conclude that, and Ed,
all right. So, do you guys want to still tell those?
Go ahead, Ed. Finish up the story on our prospecting.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
This is funny.
This should be good.
This is a tough one today. It's so tough. Whew.
It's okay. It's Friday. It's July 2nd, right?
Let's do it.
We're going into the summer.
I think
okay,
so.
Cool. So my audio sounds good. Listen, guys. So like I was mentioning before, okay, I would actually go and knock on doors where the sellers would open the door, and the first thing they would do is look at me. They would give me this mean mug. I know some of you guys would have probably turned away, but I did not turn away. You know why I didn't turn away? because all I did was I say, hey, how you guys doing? My name is Ed. This is my bodyguard, Israel. And Israel would just step up. And then it's like they would start laughing. That was the key for me, though. The key was to break the ice. All right.
Yeah.
When you're talking to people, you have to break the ice. I'm telling you, they're not expecting you to come to their door. They're not expecting that phone call. They're not expecting you to randomly walk up to them in the middle of the street. But when you do, you got to break the ice. So that was the way I did it. If somebody wanted to look at me to try to intimidate me, I said, it's okay. Hey, that's my bodyguard, Israel. And then Israel did it too. That was the funny part. We went to the door and it was Israel's turn. And Israel went ahead and said, hey.
Oh.
Yeah, I did exactly the same thing. Yeah.
I tried to make it seem like I was, but I couldn't compare. Israel's like tall, and I'm like just clearing 5'7". You know what I mean? It was hilarious.
That is good. But. So I don't know. I know a lot of ladies would go door knocking by themselves. I always done it with somebody else. I don't like to go alone. You know, even though I'm 6 feet tall, shrinking, but 6 feet tall, I still don't want to go alone. I definitely don't want to put myself in a situation where either I have to run really fast or I have to fight. So go in pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I think that one of the things I keep in mind when I door knock, right, whether I do it with one person or do it by myself, is that once I knock on the door or ring the doorbell once or twice, I take 3 steps or 2 steps back in order to let them know that I'm not trying to get into their home right away. And then engage them differently, as how Ed had explained, in a way that's humorous, in a way that's engaging, in a way that to have a conversation, not to say that I'm trying to sell something. Just to let them know that, yeah, look, we're realtors, we're in the area, we're here to help you if you need any realtors resources or help. So those are some of the techniques I use.
All right.
Look, I just want to add to that real quick, Gigi. And it's not always sunshine and rainbows, because I'll tell you, and Israel was there for a moment too. You knock on enough doors, you're going to get some interesting people. You're going to meet some interesting people. And one guy, it was hilarious, right? And Israel could attest to this. We knocked on this guy's door, beautiful property, knocked on his door. The guy came out and he was literally like, what do you want? I don't want to buy any windows. And I looked at Israel and I'm like, we're not trying to sell you any windows. And he said,
right.
And he's like, well, what do you want? And he were like, well, actually, we're inviting you to an open house that we're doing, a couple of blocks away. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, well, I'm selling my house. And we literally took a step back and looked around the entire place and we didn't see a sign. We were like, where's the sign? And then he was like, I don't got time to talk right now. And he ran into his house. And we were like, what the hell just happened? We turned around. We kept door knocking. See, some of us would have probably stopped right there, right? It's really, if I was by myself, if somebody was by themselves and somebody just spoke to them like that, you have to understand, don't take it to heart. You literally have to just keep on moving. And what happened? We were halfway down the block and we're knocking on a door. We walk away and this car pulls up and stops. He parks in the street.
It's the same guy.
And the guy gets out of the car. Same guy. Same guy. This guy came back. And I thought to myself, right, look, I was born in Queens, all right? I was born in Jamaica, I lived in Jamaica, you know what I mean? So my mindset was kind of like, oh, is this guy serious? Like,
that's what I was thinking
Israel
too.
with me. I was like, I got Israel with me, and it's me, and it's like, come on, like, and we kind of took a step back, and the guy came up and said, hey, listen, guys, I am so sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to come out that way. It's just that. And Israel and I were just like, hey, look, man, it's okay. No big deal. You know what I mean? It happens. He's like, yeah. So we left off kind of on a nice note. Does it always happen? Not really. But
not at all.
You just got to keep going. It was hilarious.
I mean, my quick story is I was by myself one time. And, I was pretty much, I always say door knock around your area, door knock around your neighbors, just say hello to everybody. And this one time, this gentleman just comes out with a tank and some tidy whities. And the first thing he says to me is, I'm not interested. I looked up and down. I was like, I'm not interested either. And I just ran away.
Yeah. Thank you guys for sharing. If our audience wants to actually, guys, if you wanna share your stories with us as well, you are welcome. And we'll just display them on our screen. Yes, and this is just to reiterate, and we're talking about prospecting in general. Do not let a no stop you. I know on the phone it could be very, very frustrating. I guess both of you can attest to that. I was a manager in our former franchise, and Israel was also a manager, and you can attest that some agents would literally come back crying to us because they let the response of the public, the consumer, that no, sometimes a harsh no, sometimes a no with a little extra with it. And don't let, I would see agents cry. Don't let this get to you. It's not personal. It's not you. The person reacts to a statement you're making, just saying, hello, it's not because of you. Something else is happening. They're not ready. They don't want to be bothered. They're not open. It's not you. If you cannot crack that shell up, move on. Next one. Israel, you wanted to add something about that.
Well, you know what? Rejection is hard. It doesn't matter how you get it, but most thing is understand that the word no is, from a seller or buyer's perspective, it's really a defensive way of them saying, get away from me, right? They don't know any other word. So they say no right away. No is a 2-letter word for them. It's easier for them to use. And they say no. And then you just, like you just said, don't take an emotional road on that. Just try to see how you can actually figure out exactly what they want. Now, as most, may or may not know, my coach, Sekou Powell, has says that the best way to answer a no is by asking them a question right away. Because we all run into this fact of, oh my God, they said no to me. You're never going to always get a yes. Understand that. You're never going to always hit a home run. You're going to strike out a couple times. And by striking out, either win or learn. And by learning, you have to learn exactly why is that no a no. Right, and you're creating just sort of a shell of yourself, or more of a willpower of saying, you know what, this person said no to me. Let me find out why.
Yeah, okay. If you can. Yeah.
If you can, exactly. We all run into that, and I'm sure we're going to go into this later. You want to make sure that if they say no to you, just say, just ask the next question or ask a question. Like I did to one seller once, and they said no to me, and I was like, why not? And I obviously got a whole slew of information that I needed and didn't need. And if they said,
just close the door on you, but now you know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So this no thing is.
Right. The whole point is that's just a defensive. The no thing is just really a defense person. So don't be emotional over it.
Yeah, I had the saying from my coach. I was coached by Mike Ferry for many years. And the saying was, basically, the more no's you get, the closer to a yes you are. And it's probably true, because in any prospecting sessions, you will get, it's 100% somebody who's going to be open up, not necessarily looking to sell right now, but wanting to open the conversations, wanting to meet you. And this is all you want. You don't want to get a listing on that prospecting session. You want to get contacts with consumers that are open to basically saying, we're considering selling, and they're open to meeting you. They're open to further the conversation. And that's all it's all about to me. Hopefully it's great if you can get a straight listing appointment from a for sale by owner. That's fantastic. So that leads us to what we wanted to discuss today, which a very easy approach to prospecting would be to use the just listed, just sold technique, which is actually from the Mike Ferry school of real estate, let's say. And a lot of the other trainers have basically used and adapted that script. It's basically the same principle. And you guys can agree with me that if you have your company, your brokerage, your team has a brand new listing that just hit the market, just going or calling around neighbors or going door knocking around that listing is a nice way of getting new contacts, new lead, possible buyers and possible sellers. Right? You guys want to add something to that?
Yeah. Well, I think we lost Israel. So I'll add that.
Let me add it to the stream right here. You're back.
I'm back.
There he is. But yeah, I mean, look, we learned this script. I'm just trying to jump in on the computer as well, but I can't really see the script because I'm on my phone right now.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's fine. So, I'm gonna see it. And there is this just listed, and then there is the just sold listing. All right, which is also really, really good. Almost, with the same principle, like we sold the listing right around the corner from your house. And, as you can, we'll go through the scripts and explain to you the thought behind it. They both most likely, they're similar, but a little bit different. And it's a good way, very good, easy, non-abrasive way for me to get to know your neighbors. Especially if you're going to do, my advice to any agents would be to do a just sold, just listed part of your farming area. Like getting neighbors. You choose this is where you live at, and luckily in your group, a listing just went on and sold. Why not take advantage of this to just go back and meet neighbors and, like over and over again. And that will help them actually know the market better in your area. And a good way for you to be known by those neighbors and have a better chance of getting business, whether it's a referral for a buyer or seller.
Right. The thing to understand is that, especially when it comes to just sold, not the person who's listing the home, more than likely is not doing exactly this at all. All right, either just listed or just sold. So if you want to basically really go into farming your area, you really want to build your CRM, this is a really great way of doing so. You're just grabbing what the brokerage already has and start speaking into this particular script, in the sense of you're just trying to find out who's the next seller in that area, or who can you help out in that area. So again, you have to understand that just because it's been listed by Joe Blow or Jane, Jane, whoever, it's part of the brokerage, meaning that you are part of that team, meaning you have the ability to actually say, hey, listen, I have this home that's in 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, listed for this amount of price. Are you looking about selling? Are you not thinking about selling? So on and so forth. And that's really what it is. It's really a campaign for yourself in order to introduce everyone about yourself, and not only that, but introduce how we're doing as far as listing homes in their areas and selling homes in their area.
Right. So, and it's also a good way with that script. We're gonna go deeper in a little bit to get to know about your neighbor. How long they've been there. Basically, when will they be ready to move? If they were to move, where they will go, when this will happen. So you get an idea as you keep on repeating and going to those same sellers, and you stay on top of them. You stay on the forefront of their mind as the whole key to it, without again being abrasive, but giving them information about what's going on in their immediate market. Here we got this listing sold. You can go back multiple times with the same listing. That listing got just listed. That just got into contract. You're just applying this. It's just sold script, and then that listing just closed. That is the sold script again. So 3 times you can hit the same homeowners with the product.
Yeah, you can hit them about 3 or 4 times. So if you think about it, you list it, and then you're following up, and then you're under contract, and now you're sold. So it's like 3 or 4 times you should be able to hit them. Yeah. And it's okay.
Yeah, God forbid you still have the listing. That listing had a contract fell through. So now you need new buyers. Why not? Let's go ask if they know anyone who's looking to buy, and at the same time, let's see if they're ready to sell.
A lot of for you to choose your buyer, your neighbors.
Yeah, a lot of different formulas and ways you can apply those. And to me, they're very easy to use. And I would again advise any new agent, even me as an old and older in the business, to just stick to that script, right? Really stick to that script. Don't reinvent the wheel. This is what my coach would tell me all the time. Same thing with your coach, Israel. You did the Mike Ferry, you did Sekou. Stick to the script. Don't try to rewrite it yourself, because you're going to mess up. At some point, you're going to just say something that is just going to let this whole deck of cards crumble.
The thing to understand about the script is really, I mean, regardless of what script you use, whether it's Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, anybody else, is understand that these questions are all based on how to ask the next question, right? Yeah. It's not based on, being very intuitive, whatever. It's just really knowing to know how to ask the next question right away. You hear a certain thing, just ask the next question. And this way you'll be able to get a good flow. There is, a deeper way or deeper flow into this.
Sorry, I'm myself. The speed. I'm being a little bit unstable. Okay. I'm seeing my internet going down.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So
yeah, I see Gigi being unstable.
So it depends on how fast you're going, how low you're going, how high you're going, how slow you're going. What kind of, are you sounding like you're doubtful? Are you sounding like you're direct? So there's a lot of things you can do with this, but you first have to know the questions.
Are you guys hearing me?
Control yourself. Now
we are actually hearing Israel right now, but now you just said, "Are you guys hearing me?" So we didn't hear it. If you said anything,
right?
We didn't
and because I just got a banner stating that my internet was not stable, which is great. Anyway, do you guys want? Should we go into? I know you both. You're back on your desktop, right, on your laptop, Ed.
I'm on my phone.
Should we go over that script, even if we don't have time to go through the Just Soul script?
We can.
Actually, I wanted to invite everyone out there. This coming Monday, July, we're gonna have a call night session from 5 to 8. It's going to be on Zoom and in person. So in person, we're going to do it at Rodolfo's location at Cross Island Mortgage at 1717 Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont. And by Zoom, I'm putting the link to that little session on the Alliance Movement, on workplace, on the Vincent Crew teams, on the Alliance Attractors, with the Alliance Movement.
Well,
we actually lost
for those who got it or not,
if you can participate.
So we are having a prospecting call or warm calls on Monday nights. I don't know if everyone heard it because it sounded choppy. However, if you're interested and you want to basically continue building your business, it's going to be mostly a nightly call. We call it twilight calls, which is cool. It's going to be done in Rodolfo's office. If you want to be part of it, we're doing it both Zoom and in person. Just reach out to myself, Ed, or Gigi, and we'll give you the link onto how to join us on Monday. I don't recall what day it is, but it's definitely it's gonna be
Monday, the July 5th. We're starting July 5th, right, Gigi?
There you go.
July 5th. I might go on my phone because wow. I just had the little wheelie thing all over. I was like, I'm losing you guys.
It's okay.
Got it.
So you know what? Since you sound choppy, and I'll just go over this real quick. I'll do the script real quick so that we can move on to the next thing. Okay. So again, I'm going to go over it in the way I would chant it out. I'm not just going to do it role play version of it. So
yes.
There is a major difference between the two. But just really how to do this and how to go over the script is really, really simple. Now, the way you want to practice this is you want to read it out first, read it out loud to yourself, do it fast, record yourself, and then try to do it without it. So there's different ways, but that's really the quick way of doing it. So here we go. Hi, my name is Israel Realty. I just listed a home sale over on ABC Lane. It has 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and it's listed for $500,000. I was wondering, who do you know that would like to move into our area? No one is the response that somebody would say. Is in parentheses. Fantastic. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to think about it. Tell me, when do you plan on moving? Never. Terrific. How long have you lived in this address? 5 years. Great. And I lost the script.
Yeah, because we just lost Gigi. But I think I got you, brother. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show. We were testing you. I think we were testing you to see if you memorize the script. That's what it was.
I have to deviate from the script sometimes. So.
No. I'm kidding, man. Give me a second. I'll pull it up for you right now.
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. Let's pull it up.
No worries. Yeah, I got you.
Let me wrap this up real quick.
I got
You
you.
plan on moving. Oh, here we go. So how long have you lived in the address? 5 years. Great. Where did you move from? Los Angeles. Good for you. How did you happen to pick this area? Job transfer. Excellent. If you were to move, where would you move next or go next? Or Arizona. That's exciting. When would that be? 4 months. Fantastic. Obviously, you realize it takes 1 to 4 months in this market to get a home. Well, not in our market, but whatever. did
Yeah.
you know? Did you know that? And whatever they say, terrific. So many questions. So my question is: do you have to be sold in 1 month, or do you want to start? Okay, that's Alexa.
Yes, you can help us read the script, Alexa.
That's serious. Trying to help me out. Trying
I
to help me out here.
have it on my screen right there.
Did you want to start selling at the time and whatever?
Oh, that's
The
it,
point is,
man. Listen, I lost the script now because I'm on my computer, also in the StreamYard, trying to pull it
you
up,
guys
but
are
I don't know
terrible.
why. It's the computer or Verizon. I don't know who to blame.
It's because
It's
of this
somebody.
weather and
Somebody.
something wrong with the internet.
It's COVID's
Anyway,
fault.
Well,
so
look, let's do it this way. Honestly, we already know this, and whether we do this one again, where we have all internet well, because I'm sure we're gonna play this. When we go into our new, should we tell a secret? No, let's not leave the secret as it is. But when we go into our room, let's just call it that for now, right? Maybe we'll have a better system and better flow. But one thing is for sure, and I keep saying this, is that regardless, do you notice how I said it? I was just saying it, right? I was just trying to get the words out. I was just trying to get the speed out. I was just trying in order to just answer the questions or just trying to get the questions out there. Don't worry about, what kind of answers is going to come out, because one thing's sure, the other person on that line is not going to know that script. They're not going to know what you're
no.
reading. They're just thinking you're asking questions. They're thinking that you're interviewing them. They're thinking that so you just don't have to worry about it. Just try to ask the questions and try to figure out how you get those questions asked, right? And like I said, each question has a different tonality, has a different speed. Again, I just did it just for demonstrations per se. One thing I just emphasize is that as we move on to the next script, because it's getting a little late for us right now, is this: is, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know this or not, no's and rejections is part of our job.
Yeah.
No's and rejections are part of our jobs. And part of those rejections are called objections and conditions. You just have to know the difference between the two, right? Condition really is something where they can literally not do anything about moving out. Meaning that they have an elderly person with them, meaning that their child hasn't finished up their school, meaning that they actually are so financially unstable. Let's just call it that, right? That they can't. Those are conditions. Those are some conditions that they can do. But then there's other ones. In the sense that there's objections that they can do, right? So this is like, I'm not ready right now. I don't feel like moving right now. I feel like moving in 2-3 months. I feel like moving in 4 or 5 months, right? Those are things you really have to really figure out which one works best for you. All right. In the sense that which one works best in the sense of objections versus conditions. So we really want to make sure that we actually handle those objections thoroughly. Do not fight. Do not fight against them. Do not handle objections over the phone like that. Just agree. All right. Handle the objection real quick. As my coach says, and I'm just going to use these words without having to say it, it's STFU, all right? So shut the up, all right? And let them answer the question. Don't speak about too much. Just ask the questions and let them answer it. Remember, the way to get around the no is by asking the question and let them answer it. And once you answer it, makes the next question for you to basically figure out what's really going on with their situation.
It's almost like a shocker. You kind of shock them in the middle of it when they say no, and you're like, why not? Oh, well, because
right.
Because
right.
What?
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
I personally hate the question why. Why? Yeah. Because think of a child asking you why.
Yeah.
How many times can they ask you why until they get the answer that they're looking for?
You have to try to play it in that sense. It's a way that I looked at as far as the objection goes, and I remember hearing this, man. It was if I took 100 chairs, right? I took 100 chairs, and under one of those chairs, I put $100. How long would you take to flip those chairs and find that $100? You're gonna sit in that room and you're gonna keep flipping. You don't care about the ones that don't have the $100 bills under the chair. What you care about is finding that one chair with the $100 bill. So that's how that prospecting process goes. You might find yourself making 100 calls, but out of the 100 calls, you might book 2 appointments. You know, in sales, in B2B sales, if you work for companies and corporations, when they're doing outside sales, for you to make 100 calls and get 2 appointments out of it, they were like cheering for you. They were like, yeah, this guy's the man. 2, that's all you needed to do. So if you called 100 people and out of 100, you got 1 person that was a potential, that's a good lead.
It's a win.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Work it.
Right.
Work it.
Right. Yeah. And then
it only takes 1 person to buy, 1 person to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When we were preparing this little segment, we were talking about objections, and then we came up with sometimes some objections are conditions, and we wanted to get the difference between what is an objection and what is a condition. Right? And
can I throw a condition out there?
It was a condition is go ahead. A condition is something you cannot change.
There's a crazy lag. I don't know where the lag is coming from, but the condition I was gonna throw out there is, for example, hey, my kids, they just started high school. We're probably not planning on moving until they graduate.
Right.
So
right.
Like, unless you can go to their house and sit and be a tutor with their kids and help them skip all those grades so that they actually graduate that year in 6 months, then maybe you could probably put their house on the market. You know what I mean? But
same thing, where if they have a job transfer, they know it's happening, but it's happening in 2 years. There is no way they're going to sell that house knowing they're actually moving in 2 years. So they will be moving when that transfer happens.
I have a question.
Yes.
You just said something that I feel is very, very important. So what I wanted to ask is this for both of you guys. If someone is going to be doing a job transfer, or in this case, if you're working with someone who is interested in purchasing a home, but they're not looking to do it right away, they're looking to buy it in the next 6 to 12 months. Mm-hmm. Do you feel right now with what's happening, do you feel that it's the right move to look for a home, even though you know you're not going to buy until maybe 6 to 12 months from now? Do you think it makes sense to start looking for a home right now?
As a buyer?
As a buyer, looking at homes, seeing the property. They're not like they're going to do it 6 to 12 months from now. But I just want to see.
Home, just for the sake of looking, or looking at homes with a pre-approval, with your down payment money ready? No pre-approval?
And they're not motivated.
Don't waste nobody's time.
So that's one thing. I only work with the most motivated buyers and sellers. So honestly, if you're saying that you do 6 months, honestly, pre-approvals can last you 4 months before they start rechecking everything. Yeah. So if you're really interested, then it's still pre-approved. Maybe there's a home that within 6 months may actually, work for you, and we could figure out different ways for you to buy within that 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and same thing with selling. So selling could be, things could change. Sometimes you have the condition where the husband is moving, is retiring in 2 years. And then between now and 2 years, it might pass.
What might pass?
The husband. Oh, pass back to God.
Jeez.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
Where did that? In 2 years. Oh, wow. Why the husband?
It happens.
Hold on a second. Why the husband?
It happens. So plans change. It's not because they're telling you in 2 years that you have to brush them off and say, oh, let me get in touch back with you. In a year and a half, when you're getting close, it's getting closer, because you might miss out. What if husband is no longer there, or wife, and then basically husband, because he had to move, he had to retire, and they wanted to waiting for him to move. And now wife cannot afford that house anymore. So, it's like, it's good to stay in touch. Correct. You're going to look for, so that's why, things change. So it's good to stay in touch with the people that you've been contacting and that have given you some tidbits of information that could be important. They're telling you 2 years, that's a condition, but that condition may change. Okay. The objection is, we don't like you. That's an objection. I can see that.
That's an objection.
That is.
It is because it's basically it could become a condition, but it's like, why don't you like me? Let's dig deeper on this one. Do you? 100%. Yes, you can change that. Yes.
Why? So that's what you should be like. Why? You should be like, why don't you like me?
Right.
I know.
Look them dead in the eyes.
But then again, if you're gonna say it, say a PC version. Don't say you're aggressive. So why don't you?
I think you should stand. You should stand up. Like, excuse me. What do you mean you don't like me? Like, you called me here to try to list your home.
Right.
What do you mean you don't like me?
Ed, I still remember you called me. Anyways.
That's how I handled my objections in the beginning when I first got. No, I'm kidding. It was a funny way to twist it on someone, but that was comical.
It is.
All right, so let's move on and let's take a look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So let's move on, because an objection is something that is basically not a yes yet because I'm not too sure about you, versus a condition that cannot be changed for the moment and you're going to have to deal with until that homeowner is ready. So this is an objection, a very good example of an objection. We are not quite ready yet. We need to finish a couple of projects around the house before we put it on the market. That is, it could sound like a condition, but it's really an objection because of a couple of things. To me, it's like, are they delaying because they think they can make more money by doing that work? Do they think they can make more money out of it? So I would ask more questions. Or you just go for the kill. If you're like, I like to give the answers of top agents, because I think all of us should act like top agents and feel even if you don't have it yet, you're very confident of your business, you're going to be that top agent very soon. So the answer I would go for is, great, why don't we complete the paperwork right now? And while you're doing your project, you're finishing up all the work, I'll get the flyer done, I'll get the paperwork processed, I'll put the marketing together. So when you're ready, I'm there, I'm ready. Let's start showing in 2 weeks. And then you can move on with a question. How much money will you spend on the house anyway on those renovations? Are you going to make that money back? Let's see what it is. If they're going to say, oh, we want to change the paint color in the living room, and we hired this fancy painter because we want a Venetian whatever plaster.
A mural. They want a mural.
Or a mural. Mr. Seller, you're not going to make that money back. So let's just leave it as is, save you some time and money, and let's put that house on the market. So that objection is out of the way.
Yeah.
Right?
But again, notice how it's another question, so it helps out.
Yeah, so you ask the question, like, we're not quite ready, we need to do that project. Well, is that project going to be, how much is it going to cost you? Is it going to bring raise the value of the home? Not. And then another objections that we encounter a lot when dealing with prospecting and people that may sound that they could be ready to sell their house. I want to find a house before I put mine on the market.
What?
Anybody has yes. So you could go into,
heard that
I believe. Oh yeah, but you could go into big explanations.
Honestly, I'm not too far against this for some reason, because it's happened to me several times in the sense that really depends on the market, right? In the sense that if your market is like, if you know that home will sell quick, and they're the typical kind of buyers who are very picky about what they want, and you've already, well, I know we're going to read this, but you've already explained somewhere that could be a bad thing for them, and they still want to be picky about the kind of house that they want. I think it's best to just find it first and then sell it.
And you know what? And this is what I think is a great, what you call objection handler or rebuttal.
Yep.
This is where it goes. Terrific. Have you seen a home that you want to make an offer on? No.
Right.
Great. Let's go ahead. Let's schedule a time where we can help you find the perfect home. Let's go take a look at how many home you want. Let's do this. In the meantime, I can be working on getting your home sold. So that way, when we get a contract on your home, we can put a contract on your dream home and close both homes the same days. Won't that be great? So it's not telling them, oh, you can't because you know what? If you need the proceeds of the sale of the house, you don't want to be brushing them off by telling them what they're doing is wrong. And yes, sometimes it's wrong. But in this market, why not? Let's do both things at the same time. Let's go take a look at homes. Let's put your house on the market as well. And we'll just coordinate both things. Yes, sir.
I'm going to throw out an objection here. You ready for it?
Yes.
My objection is no. I would rather find the home first. And then after I find the right home, then I'll put my home on the market.
All right. Do you need the proceeds of the sale of your existing home to buy that first home?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you need to have your first home sold. So it would be wise to put your home on the market as we're going through the process of finding your home. Because you're not going to be, do you have enough money for the deposit?
I don't think it'll be a problem.
Okay. Do you have enough money for the down payment?
I mean, I could put a little bit down, maybe,
Right. Because my only problem in this market is there are a lot of buyers like you, sir. A lot of them are actually ready. They don't have any other contingency.
I'm ready. I'm ready. If I find the right home,
let's take a look at price. Right. Yes.
I'll buy right now.
Oh, if you find, but okay, you see, so this is, you're not ready to put your house on the market because if you found, now you're just shopping. If I find a house at the right price, so you don't really need that home. You don't need to make the move.
Right.
Now you're giving me another story. I'm going to squeeze your neck.
Right. If you tell me the right price, the right location, so on and so forth, what does it look like?
If this whole thing about the right price, honey, there is no such thing right now as the right price. You know, the right price is going to be above asking.
That's, again, I mean, that goes back to anybody who, whoever you qualify, whether it's a buyer or a seller, you want to make sure that you ask them, what is the right price? What is the right sum? I mean, what is the right place? You know, when they are using those words, that's a trigger right there. What is the right price?
Right. But what's the
Mm-hmm.
motivation for moving? If it's just the right price, is that a real motivation?
Right. It's all based on the motivation. And then, honestly, to answer, there's a longer version of what I use as well, in the sense of explaining to them and how they can lose a lot of equity if they do it the way they're doing it now.
Right.
So pretty much, there's that. You know, why are you doing it in reverse? Do you know that you're actually losing more equity if you do it by finding something first versus selling it? Do you mind if I explain to you, and then I just go into that entire
Yeah, I do like the first. I like to just get to the point, handle the objection, and then if it's not completely thought of, that first rebuttal, I would go into the explanation. But basically, if this works on the first time, because maybe they haven't thought about it on how to do it, like the logistics of it and stuff. If you present yourself as this professional that you should be able to juggle that purchase and that sale at the same time. And sometimes a homeowner just wants to hear this, you know?
Some do.
Yeah. And and I like that. So you're going to talk to homeowners, you go to their doors, you meet them, they're looking to sell, and they say, you know what, after speaking to my wife, we're going to try to sell on our own.
Really?
Yeah. So I like the Vegas analogy. Say, yes, Mr. Seller, sure, you can try it. Lots of people do it. Lots of people try to sell on their own. It's like going to Las Vegas. Millions of people go. And every now and then, someone hits the jackpot. Maybe every now and then. But the vast majority of people lose money, or Las Vegas wouldn't be there. So every now and then, a seller is the jackpot, but the vast majority of sellers need an agent, or the real estate industry won't be there. All right, so we're going to make sure we're saving you some money, and then you can go into the statistics of how much money a for sale by owner loses versus a seller that is using an agent. Yes, I'm sorry, it's a straightforward answer. Do you guys have any?
Honestly, we want to try to sell it ourselves. Great. I mean, I'm glad that you want to try to hit the market. What is going to be, what methods are you using? What marketing are you going to use? What's going to be your pay-per-click for each lead that you get? Do you know your comps already? How much, do you know how much comps you're going to have with this? What is the reason why you actually decided to sell it yourself? Oh, it is a commission? So what if we put commission on the side and talk about how I can help you strategize a better way for you to get more money? You know that I can actually help you get more than, what you think you can get over asking price? And then just go into that. I'll just keep asking.
And then you still can go with the rebuttal that, did you know that every single buyers that go to a for sale by owner, they're actually looking for a deep discount. They're looking for that deal.
Yeah, the best way to ask that question is, let me ask you something, Mr. Seller. When you buy your home, right, are you ever going to pay full price for your home? Don't you think your wife's going to do the same thing?
Exactly.
There's no way. So
you need somebody to represent you. Yeah. Right. Let's get somebody who's going to be there for you. Represent your interests. Here you go. Here, let's sign the paper right here. Like at the end, you press hard because I have the copy at the back.
It's like one of those, like, what kind of agent are you for? You want a poodle or do you want a pit bull to protect your equity? I mean, I might not look like a pit bull, but I'll make sure that I'm for you.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. I think this was that. Oh my God. So there are many examples you guys can use. And we do apologize for this lack of
technical difficulties.
Seamless technology and the whole thing.
Blame it on the application because everything else is working on my computer minus StreamYard. So I'm going to blame them.
I've seen my internet being very unstable. Last night we had, as I'm ready to send some comps at 9:00, I got a message from Time Warner saying, hey, no, not Time Warner, it's Spectrum nowadays. You see, I'm an old fart. Oops, I said fart on the
It's
internet.
Okay.
We're gonna have to get the bleeper. We're gonna have to bleep some of you guys.
I know. On this, guys, again, we're going to repeat. Monday, July 5 to 8, we're doing our first call night. Guys, to me, I feel like I had a call night withdrawal. We used to do those a lot with our former brokerage. And then we got hit with lockdown. We couldn't solicit. I'm like, I went cold turkey on solicitation. Right. I need it. I want to do it again. So let's do it on Monday. Let's do it, via Zoom. On in person, and let's make it. Let's have a great weekend. Saturday, Sunday more than Saturday. Saturday is going to be raining, and that's it. And enjoy your 5th of July. And in the evening we can go.
That's right.
Yeah. So we gotta end it the way we always end it.
Yes.
Because you said it. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's 4th of July.
Yes.
It's gonna be fireworks.
It's Friday again. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Happy Friday.
Stay safe. Don't party too hard. Make sure you come back because Monday we got our call session taking place in Elmont. So hit us up. Stay tuned. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Peace.